Okay, hi everyone. Since I found the Genshin Impact English side of the live stream wasn't that reliable, I'm just going to quickly explain what I found out in the 2.1 Chinese trailer, and a lot of the explanations of what has been included in the 2.1 update. 2.1 update is extremely big. I will even consider it as big as 2.0. It first of all would conclude in the Inazuma storyline that we'll be able to get a glimpse in, and we eventually will, I guess, head off and fight the Fatui agents and Fatui Harbingers as well. So stay tuned for that. But here, let's talk about what is coming in 2.1. We'll be able to get the remaining part of Inazuma will be opened up for us to be able to access and explore, which means more Electroclus, which means more chests, more rewards, and eventually I do believe the excess Electro Sigil will have a place for us to spend. And we'll have already seen some of these new enemies in the trailer that has been released for us to see, and we have figured out that we'll be able to find even more world bosses like the Hydro Hypostasis, etc. I'll assume that Signora is a weekly boss that just like the Child fight, but she is an extremely dangerous enemy, uses Pyro and Cryo. You can imagine the melt damage she'll be doing. Just be careful with that. Now after that, I want to quickly explain what's also included later on. Kujusara Raiden Shogun has been confirmed to be the first banner of the 2.1 update, so be sure to save your Primogems if you're pulling for these characters, as these two characters are some of the more popular characters in the 2.1. Then Sangonomiya Kokomi is coming after that banner, and they both Raiden Shogun and Sangonomiya Kokomi both have their designated weapon in those banners, and if you wish to wish for those weapons, I only really think Raiden Shogun's signature weapon is worth it, since it's actually pretty strong for her kit, and I have heard that Raiden Shogun is really strong even on Constellation 0, so I really think it is a character that you need to pick up. Anyway, after that, we'll be able to get more free weapons in the event, and a lot of the events in 2.1 is actually really interesting. We'll be able to get really meme weapons, etc. that you might be able to use on Raiden Shogun if you do not have another weapon for her to use. Which including some of the events like fishing, stuff like that. Fishing will also have some of the special fishes that you will be able to place in the Serenity Teapot. In the Serenity Teapot, then you can show off these fishes. It's kind of going off like Animal Crossing territory here. But either way, after that, we'll be also having a part of Liyue's side of stories, while also seeing some of the characters that we haven't seen. You have seen just on screen. Scaramouche is coming back, a huge part for his character development will be coming back. But other than that, I was just about to say that on the Liyue side of stuff, we'll also be celebrating another festival for Liyue. This is why 2.1 update seems so big. I don't think we'll be running out of anything so soon in the 2.1 update. And I do believe we have confirmed that Kachin's personal story quest is also unlocked in this period, in the 2.1 update. 2.1 update also marks the 1-year anniversary for Genshin Impact, which means we'll be receiving some rewards, and it's not the reward I guess everyone is agreeable on, but first of all, we'll be able to get Genesis Crystals recharge. So basically, if you top up Genesis Crystal after 2.1 update drops, it will return to the double amount if you have ever purchased that category of double amount in the past year. But aside from that, you also get 10 free pulls. I do believe it's the same as the Lantern Festival that we have got about half a year ago. So be sure to sign in to grab these awards. Also, another thing about 2.1 update is PlayStation users will be able to unlock Aloy, which is a free 5-star and is the collaboration with Horizon Dawn, I do believe 0, or I'm not sure what's the new game's name. But other than that, we'll also get some of the really interesting events like these Battle Arena, which you can only have 2 members a team, but you can assign multiple teams that you can swap around, so you actually control more team members in a single battle, which is quite interesting because we never have the ability to control more than 4 characters at once. That is so far that I think the things that you need to know about Genshin Impact. I have left the redeeming code down below in the description if you need it. First of all, I want to talk about Raiden Shogun. Her kit, I do believe if you have not seen the leaks, in the official trailer they have explained that her E skill will basically deal continuous damage while your character deal damage. No matter if Raiden Shogun's off-field or on-field, it will continuously do damage every single while if you do damage to the enemy. And based on the other characters other than Raiden Shogun herself, if they use Elemental Burst, it will further boost Raiden Shogun's Elemental Burst. Elemental Burst for Raiden Shogun, she will swap her weapon type from a polearm to a sword type for a brief moment, kind of like Tartaglia or Child's E skill, but this does not have a cooldown. It only based on her CD and her cooldown and her skill duration. And during that duration, she'll be swapped into this katana form, a sword form that she'll be able to attack freely after a slice. This slice damage is being boosted, like I explained earlier. The more elemental burst you used from the other characters, the more it boosted. Kujosara seems like another supporting and off-field, not off-field, but sub-DPS character, which is slightly derived from Fischl's positioning in the team, which is really good because I did not want her to replace what Fischl is, because they're both Electro and both bow characters. She seems to be able to have these stack mechanics that the more you attack, then you need to consume these stacks in order to use her elemental burst. I have not fully looked into her kit, but I do believe she'll be a really powerful supporting sub-DPS character, kind of like the positioning for Yoimiya. And Yoimiya, I was going to talk about her positioning in team since a lot of people was not happy about her performance, but that will be on another video. But before we get on to that, I want to quickly talk about Sangonomiya Kokomi. Her positioning in the game seems really interesting. She's a healer and she does some damage, but she does not gain any benefits from crit rate and crit damage, so you do not need any crit rate or crit damage. I guess this is a good beginning for character designs that does not rely on crit rate and crit damage to do damage. She might become a slightly more available DPS character if you're able to get some of the stats that we continuously get and we consider unlucky to get, maybe like defense or HP percent, stuff like that, which is really interesting. And also something interesting about her character as a mechanics is after she has cast her elemental burst, she seems to be able to walk on water, and which is really interesting. And we have seen another character that's able to either swim on water or walk on water like Ayaka Mona, and now she can actually walk on water, which is quite interesting in her duration of her elemental burst. Now I want to talk about Aloy. Aloy, as the first collaboration of Genshin Impact, she has provided some of the new insights to what possibilities that collaborations can be. But her character seems quite basic, even though as a 5-star, a free 5-star you can get if you're on PlayStation platform right after 2.1 update or 2.2 update. If you are not on PlayStation platform, you can also get her. Just remember to sign in and collect the rewards. But I do believe PlayStation players also get her signature weapon, which is a bow that you'll be able to get. Do not quote me on this, I have not confirmed this, but I do believe that is the case. I will be able to test her as soon as she come out, so stay tuned for that as well. But let me quickly explain her kit. Her E skill, she throws out this basically elemental, ice bomb, because her element is actually cryo. And ice bomb that triggers on enemies, and I do believe it stacks up gradually and turns her auto attacks, normal attacks, into cryo infused auto attacks, which means she can continuously do melt damage, etc. She will be potentially a really good free 5-star character that you will be able to use her as a DPS character. Her elemental burst is extremely simple, and she throws out the same, I do believe it's the same or a more powerful ice bomb, and triggers it by shooting at it, causing a huge cryo explosion. And I do believe this will have a high damage ratio that you'll also be able to do and use as a huge elemental burst. Maybe after using Bennett's elemental burst, you could do huge damage in an area of effect manner, which is quite interesting for me. I think she might change how some of the free players able to do damage in the Abyss, since a strong cryo character in the Abyss is really useful. And here is the I think we've been dragging on way too long, and since I do not want to drag this video way too long, this will be the end of it. I will go in more in depth and check out the actual Chinese live stream and try to find out even more details, and that'll be on a part 2 of 2.1 update, and also regarding what the OST has been created in Inazuma is like, etc. But here it is. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for my next video regarding the remaining of 2.1 informations.